All right, let me set the scene for you. But you just hang on for a second here, all right? Because this is late night in Manhattan, mid-80s. There's no smartphones. There's no constant noise of notifications, just the real sounds of a city breathing. You've got neon signs flickering outside bars. You've got laughter spilling out into sidewalks. You've got taxis rolling by with that slow, steady hum. And people, real people, just living their lives. Now imagine you're standing there. Maybe you just stepped outside for some air. Then you hear something. At first it's faint. You kind of just ignore it, but then it gets louder and louder. You hear a low, steady, mechanical hum. And something in your brain starts going, wait a second, that's not right. Because this sound, it's not a car, it's not a truck, it's not anything that belongs on a Manhattan street. It's an airplane, and it's getting closer. You look up, and what you see doesn't really make sense because coming down between buildings, not above the skyline, not heading toward an airport, but directly toward the street is a plane. Low enough that you can see the shape of it clearly. Low enough that your brain doesn't even process what you're seeing at first. And then it lands right there on the street. No runway, no warning, no explanation, just a plane sitting in Manhattan like it missed a turn somewhere over Jersey. The man inside that plane, he wasn't lost. He wasn't even panicking. He wasn't escaping anything. He knew exactly where he was going. Because, well, he had just left that exact street about 15 minutes earlier after someone at a bar told him there's no way you could do that. Or you could do it again. And he took it personally. Things that make you go, What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Your Town podcast, where we find usually small towns, big stories. But this is a big town, small story. It's a story that I don't think I've ever heard of. And shout out to our OG host and buddy, Zach, for sending this over. He sent this over, must have saw it on the old Reddit and said, hey, this has to be a Your Town episode.
Nice.
And I said, you know it. This one's crazy. And by we, the voice you're hearing, it's me, it's Matt, it's Beard Laws. And joining me as always is the beautiful, comfortable looking, attired, dressed. Almost like we ate a little bit too much at Easter today, so we went comfy style. Meg.
I couldn't wait to get home and get some sweats.
You are sweated up. If they were orange, I would have thought you just escaped prison. Isn't that what they wear at prison? Like sweatpants that are orange or something? I don't know. It's comfy looking.
It's just a matching sweatsuit.
It is matching. It's nice. Unlike mine. I got the same thing on. Just I got this and I got these gray sweatpants that are almost a different shade of gray.
Clearance rack.
Clarence. So happy belated Easter. Hopefully the bunny was good and hopefully everybody traveled safely. And it's good to catch up with the other side of the fam. We don't get to see a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It's crazy seeing the kids getting so much bigger.
I know it.
I know you get to see most of them at school all the time, but
I don't see them that often, though.
I don't either. Holy cow. They grow quick.
I'm not in the elementary, so I don't run into them that often.
Well, if you did, it might hurt.
Funny.
Shout out to all the friends of the show as well. Check out livebearded.com. Use code BEARDLOVES if you want to save some money on some great beard care. Mine's looking good. And apparently it works on hair. I had to shave the head again because the hair was growing in too quickly because I've been putting that Live Bearded oil and butter on my head, on my old noggin. That's one thing that I noticed today. I don't know if you did as well, but the kids are getting bigger and the boys and the men are getting balder.
Yes.
We're finally at that stage of life where we're all bald and our kids are getting older. But I have to say, there was no tears. That could have been the first Easter that I didn't see a single kid cry.
We almost had a couple.
But we didn't.
We hit a thorn bush.
That happens. At least they didn't slip into in some coyote crap. People are probably going, what is wrong with your Easters? Anyways. Also, check out our friend squatchjuice.com/beardlaws. It's going to keep you focused and energy and hydrated and all that good stuff. It's good for the skin. It's good for the beard. It's good for the brain. Obviously, check out Squatch Juice, but I was scrolling. Do you know they make pouches that are like not nicotine and stuff? Like when we were growing up, they had the pouches of nicotine, but they make them and it's like energy and focus and all that stuff.
I did know that.
Did you try one yet?
I have not.
Have you seen people try them?
No, I haven't.
Apparently,
I've heard of people trying them, but
you can put them in for like 30 to 60 minutes and there's like no jitter, no crash, and you're good for like 1 to 2 hours. Kind of want to try them. If I get some, you want to throw one in with me? Throw a little pouch in?
I don't know about that.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
If anybody's tried them, let me know. I'm curious. Anyways, should we jump into this?
Sure.
Got anything else? Easter-ish. It's been going on. We're good. Happy spring break as well. All of the people that went south, and unfortunately, I've heard your weather isn't great. That's a bummer to spend that kind of money to go, stay on the beach and have the same weather we have up here. That stinks, but safe travels to you guys. Enjoy whatever time you're in. At least you're not around here. Get to see some new places and probably the same faces, because for whatever reason, it seems like everybody in the North Country packs up and they head to the old Myrtle Beach. So safe travels, everybody.
Not us.
Not us. Maybe sometime. I don't know. I feel bad. It's expensive to go on a trip. We're pretty poor.
It is.
Sometime. But we did give the kids a choice. Said, hey, do you want us to save the money and go on a vacation for spring break? Or do we do travel softball with multiple kids and go on a bunch of little mini vacations throughout the summer? And they chose that. Does it kind of stink for me and the wife? A little bit. But we enjoy it. I'm super excited for travel ball this season because I think we got a good group of not only kids, but I think we got a good group of parents and stuff that'll get along. I think it'll be a good time. All right. Back to Manhattan in the 50s. Do you remember Manhattan in the 50s?
No.
I feel like it was just yesterday. You were probably thinking, like, when you hear a story like this, your brain wants to fill in the blanks, right? Were you trying to fill in the blanks of the old intro?
Yeah.
What was your brain going?
I don't know. Like a dare? Was it a dare?
I know all the answers of the story. I did the research. I didn't write the story. It wasn't there, but is that what your brain was going? I was
yeah,
a dare?
Like a guy pulled up to a bar with his plane in Manhattan. Jumps out.
Yeah, I mean, that's what.
Shock and awe.
What?
Like shock.
Oh, shock and awe.
Yeah.
I thought you said shaka.
The guy's like, bet you can't do that again. You're like, you want bet?
Okay, that's your guess?
Watch me now. Yeah.
Do the mashed potato. I mean, like Meg she's picturing that. Some people might be picturing a guy who has no idea what he's doing. Maybe he's just a reckless idiot. Maybe
Is it even his plane?
That's also a good question. Yeah. Maybe it was just someone completely out of control. Just in chaos in human form. Guess what his name was? Pretty close. Thomas Fitzpatrick. That's not who this was. And that's where the story gets uncomfortable, because it's one thing if someone gets lucky, but it's another thing entirely when someone knows exactly what they're doing and still chooses to do something insane. Fitzpatrick wasn't just some random guy. He was a Marine Corps veteran. Not weekend training, not casual experience. We're talking about someone who had been through structured military training, someone who understood discipline, someone who had been trusted with responsibility, and more importantly, he flew before during the Korean War, which means he knew aircraft, he knew how to handle pressure, he knew how to navigate, he knew what could go wrong. And here's a detail that some people maybe skip over. It wasn't just luck. This wasn't, oops, I jumped in a plane and figured it out. This was a guy with just enough experience to believe that he could get away with what he was going to do. And if you ever met someone like that, have you?
Yeah.
You're like, you were shaking your head no, and you're like, yeah, I don't know a guy like that. I know 10 guys like that. And you know how dangerous that mindset can be, right? Because confidence, like real confidence, can turn into something else pretty quick. It can turn to, I can do this. I've done harder things. What's the worst that can happen? Once you get there, that's when the story starts to write itself, huh? Slow it down, because we're in Washington Heights. We're late night, Meg. We're inside a bar. So you've got glasses clinking, music playing low in the background, conversations overlapping, and you picking up the vibe. It's that warm, slightly chaotic energy of a place where people are comfortable. And then there's Fitzpatrick, drinking, relaxed, probably feeling pretty good, right? And like every bar conversation that's probably ever existed, they start normal. But then it doesn't always stay that way, because eventually someone says something. And that's where history gets a little fuzzy, because depending on the account, the details, they shift a little bit in the research, right? But the core of something, it never changed. Someone didn't believe him. Maybe he said he could get somewhere faster than anyone thought possible. Maybe he made a claim about flying. Maybe he mentioned something from the past. But whatever it was, it got challenged. And if you've ever been at a bar long enough, we have, You know exactly how that moment feels. It's not an aggressive moment, right? It's not a fight. It's worse. It's that casual disbelief, that little smirk, that buddy. And for some people, it's all it takes, because now it's not about being right. It's about proving something. And Fitzpatrick, he doesn't argue. He doesn't explain. He doesn't try to convince anyone. You know what he does? Just stands up, finishes his drink, and leaves. And nobody in that bar, not a single person, thinks about what's actually going to happen. Now imagine this part. This is where things sometimes gloss over. This is where the decision locks in. He leaves Manhattan, crosses into Jersey, makes his way to the Teterboro Airport. And here's the thing. That walk, that trip, the time in between, that's where most people would stop. That's where people, the reality kicks in and is like, I should probably not do what I'm about to do. Because most people, they go, hey, nah. Guess what? Old Fitzpatrick doesn't. Which tells you something important. This wasn't impulsive anymore. This was intentional. By the time he gets there, he's already committed. Of course, mid-50s. We're at the Teterboro. There's no gates like today at these airports, especially smaller airports. There's no security layers. I mean, even the airport near us, think about it. It's a pretty big fence, right?
Yeah.
A lot of security. You're not just getting into an airport. And there wasn't systems designed to stop somebody like him. Do you know what he does? Just walks in, he finds a plane. Finds a small plane, a lightweight plane, something manageable. Right? Then he just gets in. He just walks from a bar to an airport. Maybe he takes a cab or whatever, but he gets out of a bar to the airport and just gets in a plane. Now he's sitting there. There's pretty much no point of return at this point. Once you're in that seat, your hands are on the controls, the engine starts. It's not a story anymore.
Do they have keys?
I'm assuming they have keys. I don't know. I've been in an airplane, but I've never been in the cockpit.
Huh. They just leave them in these planes?
Must have.
Well, I mean, if they're leaving the keys in the plane, I think that's on them at that point.
I mean, how many times do they think people are just going to come in and grab an airplane? It's the 50s.
But they start taking their keys after this event.
Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. The engine fires up, that low rumble builds, and for a second, everything probably feels a little normal for him, a little familiar, something he's done before. And he takes off just like that. Nobody stops him. Nobody questions him. He just takes off, Meg. He gone into the air. Now here's where you need to really understand something. Flying a plane, that's one thing. Flying into Manhattan at night, that's something else pretty entirely, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to imagine there are no margins for error. You're in an airplane, even if it's a smaller one, you're in a pretty big city. I mean, you've got buildings that are rising on all sides of you, limited visibility. You don't have any guidance. You have no communication.
Narrow streetways.
People, streetlights probably. I have to imagine there's power lines and stuff, you know. And of course, you know what? He's not heading toward an airport. He's not even trying to land somewhere safe. He has a target. It's a street, a very specific street. What's wild to me, and I have to imagine it's wild to everybody else, he finds a street. He lines it up, and, well, you would think this is where things go wrong, right? He's trying to get to the bar in the airplane in Manhattan. You've flown above a city. I mean, you got to be really darn good to know exactly where that is, right? I mean, we're not pilots, I'm
For
sure.
never having done it before.
I mean, we never have. I mean, granted, he's flown before.
But probably not that particular route, is what I was saying.
I would have to imagine. It's probably a route.
Enough of that.
And, well, this is where things should go wrong, but somehow, Meg, it doesn't. He brings the plane down. It's closer, closer, closer. People are looking up. Some frozen, some scared, some running, some moving. A lot of people don't fully understand what they're actually watching. And then the wheels touch. Apparently it wasn't smoothly. It wasn't perfectly, but it was controlled. Then the plane comes to a stop on a Manhattan street right near the bar. And just like that, Meg, he's back. He did it.
I wonder how much money he won.
I mean, you can't make this up. Dude just sitting at a bar, getting drunk, gets dared, bet, whatever you're imagining, question, you can't do that, goes to an airport. I'm going to say borrows a plane. I'm sure he will bring it back. Lands right back at the bar. That's ridiculous. In Manhattan, I could see somebody doing something stupid in our area.
Right.
But there's not a lot of traffic. There's fields. I think you could pull it off, other than the whole trying to steal an airplane. But, well, people, they gathered all around it. And the police arrive. And there's this moment where nobody even knows what to say. I mean, how do you even process that, especially in the 50s? A man just landed a plane in the street. He didn't crash it. He landed it. And when they pull him out, he didn't even panic. He didn't frantic. He just was like, hey, I'll prove something. Because in his mind, he really did. So you're probably thinking, cool, wow, dude, got drunk, grabbed an airplane, and that's where the story ends, right? It doesn't end there, because that right there already would have been probably one of the craziest things you potentially ever heard, right? This isn't it. You know why? 2 years later, somebody else hears this story. They look right at him and say, there's no way that actually happened.
Same guy?
Same Fitzpatrick. Somebody says this to him 2 years later.
I didn't know if they were just telling his story to other people or, okay, he's involved again.
And instead of just letting it go, instead of just laughing it off, guess what he decided to do?
Do it again.
He wanted to prove it once again. So at this point in the story, you've got a man who left the bar, stole a plane, flew into Manhattan, landed on the street, got arrested, somehow walked away without his life being completely destroyed. If you're sitting there thinking, okay, that's insane, but at least it's over. Yeah, well, it would make sense. It would be normal. That would be how almost every story like this ends. But that's not how this one goes. Because 2 years later, the story comes back, and this time, it's not about proving he could do it. It's about proving he already did. I mean, what are you thinking at this point?
Is he going to show them his records?
What do you think he's just going to do? He's going to open up an old newspaper clipping and say, hey, that's me. They took my picture. I'm being pulled out of a plane by police and thrown into jail. You're telling me I didn't do it? That's what he's probably going to do, right?
I have a feeling that's not what he's going to do.
All right. Should we jump to 1958? He's at another bar. It's another night. By now, Fitzpatrick's story has turned into something else entirely. It's not just something that happened. It's a story that gets told. It's passed around, retold, and like most stories that sound too wild, it starts to change a little bit. People exaggerated it. People doubted it. People laugh it off because think about it from the outside. You're sitting at that bar where it happened, and you're like, yeah, sure, this guy just landed a plane in the middle of a Manhattan street, right? Come on, how drunk were you? And here's the thing about human nature. People don't like to be wrong, do they? But even more than that, some people really don't like being doubted. We know those people, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
You said it like if...
Sure do.
Especially when they know they're telling the truth. So imagine Fitzpatrick sitting there, hearing someone question it. And I have to imagine he got questioned quite a bit. And then he would hear all these people dismiss it. And he'd be like, or who would be like, I don't buy it. I ain't buying it. Drunk people at the bar. No way you did that. That's not a Manhattan voice. What's a Manhattan voice? You got one?
No, I don't have
one.
one.
Oh, you thought about trying it.
I'm not good at accents.
Or back in that moment again, right? Same pressure point. Same little spark. But this time it's different because now he's trying to prove something new. He's trying to prove something that already happened. And that, I feel like that's a little more dangerous. What about you? You get away with it. Why do it again?
Because people are dumb.
People are dumb. This is the part that...
No offense, anybody.
What's that?
I said no offense, anybody.
I mean, if people are sitting here thinking we're telling them that they're dumb because they're going to fly a plane in the street of Manhattan, then yeah, you are dumb for thinking you can do this. We're not telling you to do this. Please, we're asking you, please don't do this.
Don't.
But this is the part that really matters psychologically, right? The first time, you can almost explain it away. The drinks were flowing. The egos got involved. Bad decisions started to snowball a little bit. But the second time, there's no excuse. There's no surprise. He knows exactly what this involves. He knows how risky it really is, how insane it sounds, what could go wrong, that he's going to go to jail again. Is it going to be worse than the last time? But he does it anyway, which tells you something about old Fitzpatrick, huh? It's not about alcohol anymore. It's not about impulse. It's about his identity. This is about, you don't believe me, I'll make you believe me. And unfortunately, when that switch flips, you're probably not talking this dude out of it, huh?
Yeah.
So what does he do, Meg? The exact same thing. He leaves the bar, heads to Jersey, goes to the same Teterboro Airport. This is on them, right? It's on the airport. You're gonna let this happen again?
Quit leaving the keys in the cab.
This dude should have like his picture, like he's banned from, all airports. And I have to imagine this time it feels a little bit different because it isn't new. This is a repeat offense. There's almost a confidence to it, a familiarity. It's a weird word. Like someone retracing steps they already know work. So he finds another small aircraft, this time widely reported as the Cessna 120. Same type of plane class, same general capability, and once again, climbs right in. No one stops him, no alarms. There's no dramatic interference, just Fitzpatrick sitting in a plane, about to do something that makes absolutely no sense for the second time. Now, here's what makes maybe this a little heavier than the first, because the first takeoff, it was reckless. This one, deliberate. He knows the route. He knows the distance. He knows what worked. And that confidence makes it even more dangerous because overconfidence is where people usually make a mistake. I mean, just like they say, isn't there like a super high percentage of accidents that happen like near your house? Because you're overconfident, you relax, you let your guard down, you schmuck a deer, you schmuck a tree, you schmuck a buggy, you schmuck a turkey.
You run out of gas.
Run out of gas. That doesn't happen to me. I'm a fill the tank up at half kind of guy.
It happened to my sister a lot.
Well,
like right by her driveway.
That's your sister.
Yeah.
But not here. Engine starts. Same rumble. Same buildup. Once again, lifts off cleanly into the night. I'll imagine flying into Manhattan once. Unbelievably insane. Now doing it again. Knowing exactly what you're attempting, knowing how tight the margins are, knowing how all of this could go horribly wrong. But he has no hesitation. He crosses the Hudson again. No clearance, no coordination, no one guiding him. And again, he aims for Manhattan, Washington Heights, for the same type of street. At night. If you think about it, there's almost something surreal about this, isn't there? First time, chaos. Second time, intent. Man, it's got to be so hard at night as well. How the heck do you know what street you're hitting at night when you're up in the air, flying an airplane? That's unbelievable.
Pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. But once again, he goes ahead and brings the plane down closer, closer, closer. At this point, you have to imagine somewhere in his mind, there's a moment that goes, all right, let's go and just do this again. Street is coming into view. Same obstacle, same tight space, same impossibility. And then contact. The wheels hit. The plane settles. And just like that, he done did it again. Twice did he leave a bar, go to Jersey, steal an airplane, and fly it right back outside the bar. And even today at Easter dinner, we heard some crazy bar stories from some old timers. Nothing as crazy as this. I mean, we went to play a softball game at this one place, drove, hit as many bars as we could to then play 2 more softball games in another town, and then hit as many bars on the way home and wake up and go to work.
Yep.
Or there was the old had to leave the middle of their shift at a plant to go play some softball and have somebody cover for them and make it back for the end of the shift. Those were the days, they say. But here's where everything changes, Meg, because this time, authorities don't see this as a wild one-off. This time, well, if you've done it more than once, it's kind of a pattern, right? And patterns, they got to get taken a little more seriously. Arrested again, but the tone's quite a bit different. It wasn't, wow, you pulled that off. It's, all right, we got a problem. Because when something happens twice, it's not an accident. It's behavior. Guess what he got for jail time? 2 years? For landing a plane in the streets of Manhattan for a second time after stealing 2 airplanes, landing in Manhattan streets. You think 2 years?
I don't know. I don't know what it's like back then. Wasn't alive.
No, he get 2 years.
10.
10 years. You want to know what he got? 6 months. 6 months in prison.
You made me feel like I overestimated.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
I meant like underestimated.
I knew what you meant. Yeah, I was
Not
trying to.
over.
I got you good. Which, I mean, obviously today, it feels pretty light. If somebody did that today, how long do you think they're going to jail for?
I mean, he didn't break anything. He didn't hurt anybody.
He stole an airplane, drove into a city.
From the same place twice that didn't lock anything up. I feel like that's on them.
I feel like it's still on the guy that stole the airplane.
I feel like it's a double whammy.
How are you going to throw an airport in jail?
I'm not. I'm just saying maybe they smarten up.
It's New Jersey. What do you expect?
Just saying.
They stink. Jersey just stinks. It's the stinkiest state west of New York for the time. It was a clear shift. The system basically said, all right, enough Fitzpatrick. Because think about what just happened. He stole a plane twice, entered restricted airspace twice, landed in a major city twice. And the only reason it didn't end in disaster is because for some reason he had enough skill to pull this off, not because it was safe. I'll zoom out just real quickly because this is...
Did they pick it up like when the plane was in the air?
Probably not in the 50s. I mean, like I said, there was no alarms. There was, not really the radar systems and stuff like that. Most of the time you have air traffic control that's helping you navigate and land and all this stuff. They didn't have any of that. It's definitely a small airport. I mean, there was an airport up in the mountain areas that was just a stretch of dirt and small airplanes up near Fine and Clifton and stuff. I don't know if you remember driving by them. Could have been just something like that. A couple of planes stored away in a garage. Later.
I bet they didn't have the keys left in them, though.
Probably not. Maybe.
Just saying.
I mean, how many? I'd probably leave them in there somewhere. I would never think that somebody's going to steal an airplane. I've never heard of somebody stealing an airplane in my entire life. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like on national news, you don't hear of airplanes being stolen.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Have you?
No, but I didn't really dig into it.
Fine. Let's ask my phone. How many airplanes have been stolen in the U.S. in the last 7? I don't know how far my math is in there. Let's see here. Okay, apparently the golden age was 68 to 72. More than 130 American airplanes were hijacked. That's different. They were like stolen in flight. That doesn't count. General aviation theft. Well, commercial hijacking subsided. There are some small ones. 1980 had 241 private planes were stolen. 97, 42, 2000, only 15 of 221,000 private ones.
See, it happened.
But a lot of it was for like smuggling and stuff. Not because you got dared at a bar.
Still, quit leaving your keys and things.
I mean, that's probably a good idea. But could you imagine if this happened today? I mean, there's no way this happens. Not only maybe once, but there's no way because you have air traffic control that control everything, especially restricted airspace. And then you would have an immediate response team, security layers everywhere. They might even, who knows, try to shoot him down if he was going in the city,
Right.
They'd get to the Hudson River and say, you're swimming with the fishes, kid. But in the 50s, they didn't have systems built like this. No one expected it. And that's the key. Systems are built based on what people think is possible. And in 56, nobody thought this was possible. What you think of the story, Meg?
That was a good one.
Yeah, something different. Shout out, Zach. Thanks for the recommendation. It was good, right?
Yeah, I like that one.
Kept you on the edge of your seat. I don't know where I was going with that. So if you like the story, because it kind of sits in that weird space where it sounds fake, it feels exaggerated. It almost sounds like one of the stories that you tell your buddies that you kind of half listen to and you don't fully believe it. But this one, it actually happened.
Like big fish stories.
Big fish stories. Not once did this happen, but twice. And I think one of the most fascinating parts of all of this. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about fame. It wasn't about escaping something. It was something much more simpler and honestly much more human. It was about being told, I don't believe you, and deciding that you were going to prove them wrong. No matter how insane that the proof of all this had to be, right? So I'm going to leave you with this. If someone told you this story, would you believe them? Would you be the reason they went out and did something insane just to prove it? I know you're not doing this ever. You wouldn't be dared to go steal a lollipop from the corner store in the 50s, let alone steal an airplane just to prove your drunken barmates.
Yeah, no.
But if you like stories like this that sound fake or are completely true, hit the old subscribe and like and follows and reviews, because me and Meg would greatly appreciate it. We can get, $100,000 a year, then Meg wouldn't have to work anymore. Come on, Yorktownians. I'm just kidding. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We enjoyed the hanging out, Meg. I appreciate you. And I don't know. Let's go grab the kids and play a board game or something, huh?
Okay.
All right. I'm about to win.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody, for taking the time out of your busy day to give this a listen and a like. We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.